Hey, Hound Dogs. I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
And welcome to On the Air with Power Squared. This week we're going to talk about, I guess, more kind of back to the old days of a week in Power Squared we used to do, if you remember those YouTube shows we did.
Yeah.
We used to do those live, too.
Yeah.
Which is like this. Anyway, we actually attended a con.
Yeah.
Which is kind of against our better nature or whatever. We went to WonderCon on Saturday.
Yes.
We didn't really spend that much time there in some ways.
No, just a few hours.
Yeah. You were kind of still recovering from being under the weather. Last week we didn't do a show last week.
Yeah, we didn't do a show last week because I was sick, and it wasn't COVID, but it was a minor flu.
Yeah, so we're glad you recovered.
Yeah.
And we decided I guess the morning of WonderCon decided to go.
Yeah, because I realized that morning I was okay with doing it.
So we went down, and it took forever. It seemed like to get down there, like 2.5 hours or something.
Yeah, and then it took forever to park.
And then we were starving by the time we got there. So we actually saw a couple of people.
Yeah.
Artist Alley, hit some people in Artist Alley, and then went and had lunch.
Yeah.
It was more important than going to any sort of panel at that point. And so we kind of, saw some people.
Yeah.
We say who we saw and sort of reconnected with some people, but we didn't attend any panels.
No, I don't think we were up for that.
No, it was just it just seemed like
it was a tiring day.
And it almost seemed a little. I mean, we went to Los Angeles Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Back in December, and
we didn't stay there very long either.
No, we kind of I think hit more of it than we did WonderCon.
Yeah.
Because it's a smaller. WonderCon's bigger than LA Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So we kind of we talked to Sean Galloway and
Steven Silver,
right, and Don Wynn.
Yeah.
And we made a point of going to see Doug Neff, who was doing the Comic Creator Connection thing there. We're hoping to have Doug on the show later this month.
Yeah.
He has to respond. But that's the goal. He kind of made it sound like he would do it this month.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a quick in and out.
In and out 20 minutes adventure.
Really, really expensive lunch.
Yes.
But that's nobody's fault. It just was really expensive.
Well, it's food trucks and you're in a...
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry, I'm trying to correct my hair here, and I'm doing it the wrong way. It's backwards. Yeah. So, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Kind of wish we had kind of maybe planned it out. We had some panels we were hoping to go to. It just didn't work out time-wise.
Yeah.
And then there was this thing at the end of the day, which I kind of was interested in, kind of I forgot the exact name of it, but it was kind of a creator camaraderie thing.
Like a mixer.
Yeah, but it ended up, I didn't have any cards or anything from, we had nothing.
We were ill prepared.
Right, and it looked kind of like speed dating.
Yeah. And
as opposed to a mixer. I was kind of expecting to be a little more,
loose.
Yeah, wine flowing and, but maybe if they have that again or they have it at Comic-Con, we'll try it.
Yeah.
But it was just at the end of the day, and we wanted to get back. Just anyway. So that was our WonderCon experience. Did you get anything out of it beyond that?
I'm not really sure. I know Trevor got something out of it because he got Silver to look at his stuff.
Yeah, and that was very positive for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. So shout out to Trevor.
Also, I guess I also got a new board game.
Right. Yeah. So
that was cool.
Right. And we didn't buy any art. You bought one thing from Patrick.
Yeah, bought something from Patrick Ballesteros, who is a popular person at Comic-Con.
Oh, you can't get near him at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
He's like the king of Comic-Con, but WonderCon, he's just he's popular, but we were able to go up and talk to him.
Yeah, and I was able to get a Avatar Last Airbender print from him.
And so that's kind of the beauty of WonderCon in some ways, is there are people like that I mean, at Comic-Con, literally, there's a line.
Yeah. At Comic-Con, there's lines for lines.
but with him, especially, there's like a line going out, as far as you want.
Yeah.
And you can't just walk up and have a chat with him.
Yeah.
And so we actually could this time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice. So, that was our WonderCon experience.
Yeah, that killed like 5 minutes.
Can't all be long. And building upon the going to WonderCon, we went back to the theater.
Yes.
Today. To a movie theater, not fancy Shakespearean theater.
Not theater, but the theater.
The cinema.
Yeah.
Went to a cinema today.
We saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Now, the fun part is, the last movie we saw in the theater was
Sonic the Hedgehog.
So it made sense to have a return engagement be that.
Yeah.
It was the experience of going to a theater. We tried to go kind of early afternoon.
Yeah. So there wouldn't be as many people.
Right. We were trying to avoid that. And we were able to kind of sit kind of separate from everybody.
Yeah. I did not miss the people talking during the
Yeah, that was weird. There were some people next to us that were talking through all the trailers, and there were some kids. I thought if we went early in the afternoon, kids would be in school.
Yeah.
But no, there were small children who weren't in school. And they're, Daddy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway.
It was just weird to wear. I mean, we were the only people, I think, wearing a mask. There might have been some other people, but a lot of people weren't wearing masks.
Yeah.
And they didn't ask for vaccination proof, which I guess we expected them to do that.
Yeah, I guess maybe this theater was lax or something.
Well, or the requirements have changed since we bought the tickets.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that's possible too.
But anyway, the seating was cool.
Yeah, I didn't discover until the credits that, hey, back. And then I couldn't get it to unrecline.
Yeah.
So I had to leave it like that. Sorry.
But anyway, I liked the movie.
Good. And you're going to review it, or either you or Trevor's going to review it for Trophy Unlocked?
Yes, for Saturday Morning Post.
So we'll look up that, and that will be at trophyunlocked.blogspot.com. All right.
I guess no spoilers about the movie. It really proudly shows off its higher budget.
Yeah, it had a bigger budget, obviously.
In a good way. They also you can also tell they put more effort into it because the CG was during the day, as opposed to like at night, like Iron Man 2.
So that way you can hide stuff better.
Yeah. So like, whereas in Iron Man 1, they actually did it during the day. So Sonic 2, most of it was during the day, so that actually showed off their abilities more.
And then you got they got further, I guess, into the game lore a little bit.
Yeah, they I liked that they felt more comfortable with making more subtle and overt references to the video games, and it was a mixture of elements from multiple games and continuities, so that made it more interesting.
Right. Yeah, it was. And the night before we watched Sonic again.
Yeah, and I still like that movie. Jim Carrey is actually a really good fit as Eggman, I thought.
Yeah, he is. It's just that mustache seemed very unnatural, but I know that's a video game thing, but it's just like, wow.
He actually looks even more resembled Eggman in this movie from the start, as opposed to the first movie where it was still interesting, where he more gradually looked like how Eggman did in the games.
Now, interesting, I noticed at one point Sonic calls him Eggman.
Yeah.
Out of kind of the blue in a way. The blue. But, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just sort of called him Eggman. Why is he called Eggman to start with? I mean, I haven't played the game. Sorry.
Well, I guess in the context of the original movie, he called him Eggman because of his egg-shaped stuff.
Right.
His robots were egg-shaped. As far as the games go, in Japan from the start, his name was Eggman, but this was in the 90s when translators didn't care as much about doing their job. The English version made his name Robotnik, or Dr. Ivo Robotnik.
Right.
I believe was the full name.
So we can all relate to it.
Yeah. And that was his name for the longest time, but then I want to say Sega mandated that his name be Eggman, like it is in Japan. So from then on, they just started calling him Eggman in America. So I was able to quickly adjust to the change. I know there were people who weren't able to do that as well.
No.
And so in the movie, they managed to work in the movies, they worked in both names.
It just seemed a little. And I know, I think you're right, you did call him that in the first movie. It just seemed a little bit out of the.
Yeah.
He wasn't necessarily an egg at the time.
Right. With the second movie, by the second movie, that was just a name Sonic could call him to taunt him.
Right. No, it was. I like the Sonic character is really well done.
Yeah.
I think.
So at the second movie, I thought Idris Elba was also a surprisingly good fit for Knuckles.
Right.
Like, I wasn't sure at first when they announced it, but then when I heard it in the trailer, I was like, hey, that's pretty good.
There's so much that man can do. Anyway, I also wanted to touch on so we've done the movie.
Yeah.
Wanted to touch on the ongoing Kickstarter that we're still having going on.
Yeah.
We are more than halfway there, with more than half the time still to go.
Yeah, I would say I think we're like at least 60% funded now.
Okay. Which means there's 40% that we could really use your help with if you're listening or watching this later.
Yeah.
We'll have a link in the.
If you're watching this on YouTube, we will have a link in the description.
And if you're listening to this on Podbean or any place, there should be a link in the description as well.
Yeah.
So we hope that you will check it out. It's, I think it's. What? Go ahead.
But just in case there isn't a visible link anywhere you're listening to this, you can go to powersquaredcomicbook.com and it will be right there.
Yeah, it says back our Kickstarter. So we hope that you will do that. And we are trying to, the point is the books are done.
Yeah.
We went back and tried to. It's kind of weird because one of the questions I answered an update on Kickstarter today. What are you going to announce the next month? Well, these are 1 through 5. We're announcing 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Because we're that far ahead, and this is a little bit of kind of going back for us.
Yeah.
To days that we, maybe, we think we've gotten better.
Yeah.
6 on. So, but we decided that we tried to make this a kind of a unique experience. We went back and sort of rewrote a lot of the dialogue, I think.
Yeah.
And tried to make it a little smoother and a little more point towards what was going to happen and things like that. Even though I think we had the general picture in mind, it just wasn't necessarily as clear in some of the things that they said. So we thought we could point things better that way.
Yeah.
And there's some really cool add-ons. If you've already bought the graphic novel, you say, I don't need to support them anymore. There's some add-ons.
Yeah.
Including bookmarks and T-shirts, of which
like
this is one of them.
We are wearing.
And also one that's
a better view.
There you go. Yes, San Ramiro Community College. Go Hound Dogs. And there's one for the Kickstarter itself, and then there's also signed prints.
Yes.
Which is us signing somebody else's artwork, but hey, we own it. So, but it would be us signing it, the 3 of us, I guess.
Right.
So there's some stuff that you could do, and if you've already supported us once, you can support us again.
Yeah. The words are different now.
That's right. Yeah. No, and I think it's better than it was.
Yeah.
And I can anticipate us making some other changes to some issues as we go forward, maybe.
Right.
And
we'll see about that.
Well, there's some minor things. There's something I have in mind. Well, we can change in something. and it's minor. It's not like we do the whole thing. But the idea would be this would be translated into French and be sold in France, which would be a big market for us.
Yeah.
And so, again, we just need your help to do it.
Yeah.
And, you might like it. It's always that risk you take. You might think it's good.
Yeah.
All right.
So, if that covers everything.
I think it does. I mean, this is sort of next week we're going to have the whole creative team together.
Yeah.
And
so that should be a more substantial podcast.
And then we're hoping to have, as I say, Doug Neff on as a guest, so that would be a little more substantial too.
Yeah.
But, they're not all planned out.
All right, so if you're watching this on YouTube later and you want to see more, then leave a like and consider subscribing and ringing that bell.
All right. So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
And you've been on the air with Power Squared.